we can talk about how to find a perimeter, we need to be sure that we understand what perimeter is. Take a look at this figure, and if you describe it, you might list things like its sides, its angles, but what you really see can be summed up in two words: the perimeter and the area. The area is the space that the shape is made of inside the shape. If you remove that, what you're left with is the outline, or the perimeter. An easy real-life example of this would be a yard, a backyard or front yard. The fence is the perimeter, and the grassy space is the area. For this lesson, we will be concentrating on perimeter. So here are a few other real-life examples of where you find perimeter. Teachers use border to mark off the area or space of a bulletin board. Fences mark the outer boundary of your yard. Perimeter can be thought of as the edge, the rim, or the outline of any figure or real-life space. Here's an example of this area of the state of Virginia, and when you remove the area, you're left with the perimeter, also known as the border. You could actually practice finding the perimeter of either your desk or your computer screen by running your finger along the outside edge. Now that we understand what perimeter is, or at least how to find it, we can put it in the context of a problem. Imagine that you are a soldier living at this castle 1,000 years ago in Europe, and it's your job every night to patrol the perimeter of the castle, making sure its borders are secure. And one night you get to thinking, how far do I walk every night? How would I find out the distance around this castle? What tools might I use, or what units? To figure out how to solve this problem of the castle perimeter, we're going to look at a smaller sample first and decide what exactly perimeter is. Now we know it's the outside edge of the shape, but how do I measure that? What does it look like? What units do I use? So in order to do so, I made a shape that is similar to the hexagon that the perimeter of the castle is. And I want to take a look at it and kind of figure out how I can actually measure this, or what I can measure it with. And what I can notice is that actually I can cut this perimeter and I can stretch it out, and now it's really just a line. So perimeter is the distance around a shape, and a distance is just a length. So a length can be measured with any linear unit, like an inch, a foot, a yard, a mile, any ruler or yardstick. So measuring a perimeter is like measuring a length. Let's see how we can apply that to our castle problem. You now know that measuring a perimeter is really just finding the distance around the figure. But I can't take the perimeter of this castle and cut it and stretch it out like I did the wire. So instead, I have to measure the length of each of the sides of the castle and then add them together. So the first side of the castle is 150 yards. The next wall measures 300. The next 150. The fourth another 150. The fifth another 300. And the final wall is another 150 yards. To find the perimeter of this castle wall, I take each of the sides and add them together for a grand total of 1,200 yards. Now it's your turn. In your journal or with your partner, describe how you would find the perimeter of this rectangle using the given information.